The attachments that Beeline supplies with the power tower. One is used to lock up and brace against the front axle. They supply a 1-inch pin, 8 inches long with it. You also have a snatch block so that you can do a downward pull. They also have a locking or blocking plate, and then they have a frame locking plate. The frame locking plate and the axle locking plate are both adjustable by pulling on the handles. We're going to use this one first. Slide these to the side where they can go around the legs so they're out of your way. And then go ahead and place the tower underneath the truck to do a front pull. And what we're going to want to do is put that plate against the axle. And you always want to line your tower up in line to the pull that you're going to make so that you make a straight pull. And if it means you have to go in at an angle, you can do that. You're just going to put the power tower at an angle. So once you're under the axle, go ahead and adjust this knob until the plate locks up against the axle. And you'll know you've got it up there if you stop, or if you look at the very nose, you'll see that it will touch the floor from the pressure. Now, using clamps provided by the shop or ones that you purchased, you can now clamp it to the vehicle and attach the hook to that. To get yourself a straight pull, all you have to do is pull this pin and raise and up down this roller until you're equal to the height of the pull you want to make. And then pin it into place and then hook your chain to it. Once you have your chain hooked to it and you have the slack out of it, come to the back, supply air to the ram and hydraulic hose. Release the pull ram. And then you can hook the chain to it. So we grab a hydraulic pump. This is an air over hydraulic. There are different varieties you can use for this. This is the one that we'll be using today. Hook your hydraulic hose. You've hooked it to the pull ram. Now release the air and use the air on your pump. Once you have that in place, your chain is hooked, go ahead and put it into the lock. Once you have it in the lock, go ahead and supply pressure. Once you have pressure in place, you now can start doing your pull. So you can take this roller and adjust it to the height of the pull that you're going to do. Once you have it where you want it, slide your pin in, pull your slack, and then hook your catch into it. Apply pressure. You may have the tower move slightly. It's just getting itself in direct line with it. If you don't have it there, it will pull itself. Until you're direct in line, now you can go ahead and apply pressure and make your pull.
See it coming out? being pulled up?
I think so.
An optional item to use with this power tower is you can purchase floor pots from a different company, install the floor pots, and then you can take chains, run through the supplied block on the power tower, lock your chain into it, do it on both sides, do it on one, whatever your choice is if it's starting to lean or pull, and then lock the bottom end of that chain into your pot. The chain and the pots are optional items that can be added to it. Now we're going to change out the axle mount that we had because we're going to be hooking to the frame rail. So we're going to bring in the frame rail extension. To the back. Go ahead and rotate that around. Go ahead and slide your pin in. Now we're going to want to push this in before you pin it because we'd like to be as close to what we're going to actually pull. Slide that back. Right there. So go ahead and slide that up against the frame. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to go ahead and rotate that now until it goes up against the frame. Again, turn it enough so that it actually squats the front end down to the floor. There you go. Once that's locked into place, we're now going to take a C-puller, a tool provided by another company, attach it to where we're going to pull. Once you have it attached, go ahead and raise your roller to the position you need it to be in to make a straight pull. Slack out. We'll go ahead and hook up the hydraulic pump at this point. Lock that into place. Rotate that one. There you go, just like that. Now we'll go ahead and hook the hydraulic pump and get the air hose to complete it. Thank you. Now go ahead and supply pressure. If you take a look at the angle, is a little bit lower, so just release it. and we're going to raise it up. Stick the air on there, please. We're going to release it and raise it up. Raise the roller up to get a more inline direct pull. Go ahead and hook the chain, pull out your slack, and then hook the chain into the recess, and then go ahead and pump it. Now you've got a more direct line pull. Okay, so now that we have the side pull done, we're now going to do a downward pull. The bed was pushed up in the accident. So the first thing you're going to do is attach your snatch block along with the pin to the tower's base. Then you'll take your chain, hook it through the block. Get yourself enough chain to get through, and then take your roller down so that it's even with the snatch block itself. And then go ahead and hook up to do your downward pull, and then go ahead and adjust your chain until the tension is tight. Now you're ready to go ahead and apply pressure and pull downward on it. A few safety things to keep in mind. Anytime you're applying pressure to this, you want to make sure your feet and hands are away from the bottom of it. The power tower actually squats to the floor. The wheels are spring loaded so that when weight is pushed to it, it actually goes down to the floor and sits on it. So keep your hands and your feet away from it. When you're dealing with the rollers, you have two different rollers. The one at the top should be a solid roller. It's the heavy roller. The one at the bottom is a lightweight roller and has a cutout in the center on both plates, and then also a groove in the center for the chain, just like the upper one does. There is also a safety guard that should always be attached to the roller to keep the chain in line with the pulley. You must have that on there, otherwise you take a chance of having the chain come off of there and causing damage. Pinch points on the back. When hooking your chain to the pull ram, make sure that your hands are clear and that you pull the chain into the receiver and let it go. When you are applying pressure to the ram, keeping your hand between the ram and the tower is a no-no. It will cause a pinch point and do damage to the hand. Last but not least, you have a bucket here on the bottom for the chain. That's to keep the chain safe and from you walking on it. But at the bottom of that chain also is a little clip that will keep it from falling through if you let it get too far ahead of you, start rolling too quickly. Do not try to grab the chain. This will stop it from going through.